Questers. Thanks so much for joining us for part 2 of Rolando's interview.
Yay!
Hey, Rolando, how are
Good.
you?
I'm chilling.
Thanks for being with
Thank
us.
you guys for
Good. Thanks
having
for being
me.
with us again. Awesome.
Absolutely.
All
As
right.
always. Oh, as always.
Well, as you know, because I know you've watched some of our episodes, you know that the second part of our interviews, we like to sort of take our interviewee on sort of a reflection. And Omar sort of takes over and talks about the skier. And so, on that note, I'm just going to let you go
Absolutely.
into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So there was a lot of themes and a lot of experiences that you've gone through in your young life. I mean, you're in
Yeah.
your mid 30s right now.
Yeah.
And what we like to do is called the skier reflection. And what it means is the things that have become known to you in different aspects of your life, And what I want to start with right now is I want to start with your personal life in terms of the things that you have known of come to known in different areas. So the first part that I want to focus on is your relationship with your parents. What have you come to recognize and know about those relationships, both with your mother, your father, and your brother, that which we haven't talked too much about up to this point?
Um, we became kind of like a trinity, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
where it was kind of us three against the world kind of thing. And my mom, like I said, she was always rough on us, but she always wanted that unity. She and to this
Mm-hmm.
day, she always speaks about the unity. But that was her main thing. She was like, you never leave your brother behind, you never leave any of us behind. Where it's our family and our family, and that's it. And ever since then it was kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that motto, because I have family, but it's like I don't really talk to a lot of my family members, and unfortunately, that's just the way that things are. But we stuck by each other, and we made
Mm-hmm.
it work. And I got to understand my mom as I got older, and I got to understand my dad. After cancer, that bond just kind of like, it was like a magnet. It was just like, I got to do whatever I can to provide, and I got to help my father, and like kind of like F this cancer, like we're gonna beat it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was, like I said, it was a lot of up and downs, because he there were times that we beat it, and then we'll come back months later,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like we beat it,
Oh,
and then
okay.
it would come back months later. He fought that for about 10 years. We
Oh,
went
wow.
with that for
Wow.
about 10 years, back and forth, back and forth.
And how is he?
Now,
How is he now?
now,
Just
thank God, he's strong as an ox, and
that's good.
we always try to take care of him the most too, because
Mm-hmm.
we just know that we're just scared for him, kind of thing. I'm very overprotective with my father too now, so if he can stay
Mm-hmm.
home, then let him stay home. And other than that, though, the
Yeah.
Yeah.
relationship was great. I ended up knowing my mom more than for what I just couple hours that I had with her, and I ended up just you know there's just this admiration that I have for them, that I just feel like they I don't know how to explain it, but I just like I glorify them, because all these
Mm-hmm.
struggles that we went through, and for them to bring us to where we are now, it's great. And I thank them for it, because like I said, I don't know how our lives would have been in the city. I don't know how our lives would have been in El Salvador.
Mhm.
And she dodged
Mm-hmm.
everything, like she got us here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
straight hard work and struggle, and that's basically what I try to resemble after that. I try to take that
Yeah.
and go with it. It's like a rally race.
Mm-hmm.
She did her part, so now I take over from here. And I've been trying to do that to this day. And that's why, you guys see me, and you guys know that I put my hands on a little bit of everything. I got my businesses and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and my graphic design, which I love. And I that's
Hmm.
those are
Mhm.
kind of like the rules I live by, and it's thanks to them. It's thanks to teaching me to not be a sucker, to like in a sense I'm saying like to not be like a everyday society kind of person. I didn't need Jordans. I didn't
Yeah.
need to wear Armani. I didn't need to, have friends. Like, I just kind of like I had my friends and I did the best I could, and I didn't, I was humble about it. And that's everything that they
Hmm.
told
So
me.
you didn't conform.
Huh?
So you weren't conforming
Yes.
to, like, the societal
Yes.
standards type thing,
Yeah.
so nice.
I couldn't, going from a one pair of shoes to, buying 200 pair dollar, it was crazy. I was like, nah, man, that's not
Yeah.
going down, you know. Don't worry though, as a kid, you always try. I'd be like, yo, ma, you see those Shaq
Yeah.
shoes? Wow, look at the Jordans right next to it though. Them joints look dope. And then she'd be like, yeah, okay,
Nothing wrong with
yeah,
trying.
Yeah. And then you ended up with the Iversons and things
yeah,
like
pay less.
Pay less.
not the Iversons, the Stephon Marbury
Yeah,
ones, or the
yeah.
Marburys. Remember? Yeah.
He
And
said pay less.
Yeah,
I had
the
one,
payless ones.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, LA, yeah. Because I used to rock the LA gears back
Oh
in the
Of
my
LA
day.
gear.
god,
Yeah,
do
I
you remember
remember that.
those?
That's
Yeah,
Oh,
throwback.
man.
this, yeah, throwback in high
Throwback
school.
big time,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh,
Wow.
ridiculousness. But so now that you mean you got a lot of very strong work ethic. You saw the sacrifice that your parents made, and obviously there's no resentment on that because you understood. You know, they work hard to get you guys out of the situations in both from El Salvador and also from Queens.
Yeah.
What about your brother? Because I know your brother's much younger than you are. He came a little much better. I mean, much after you guys were already here, established in New York. How is that relationship, and how do you get along with him?
Oh man, it's great. I love him, and I see him as my son too because it was like
Mhm.
at that time, with them working and stuff like that, there was times that we just had to make out, and I would help him, and I would cook. I would just do whatever it is that I did that I needed to do to, to help him and to help my mom and, help my dad and stuff like that. And I have a great bond with him. I'm 7 years older than him, but sometimes I
Mhm.
just feel like we're the same age, in the sense that I've always been with him. I've never left him, you know, out of my sight, kind of in that sense that, like I said, it's like a scar tissue that my mom made. It was like, yo, something happens to your brother, I'm whooping your ass first, kind of thing. So
You're responsible.
You're
yeah,
responsible.
so and it's ever since then, it's always been like that. So, you know,
Mhm.
I've basically have always been overprotective with him, and I just support everything he does, and he supports everything that I do as well. And that's just how we work,
Mm.
And I've always, like I said, that little sucker has been lucky though, because I've always brought him to things that I wish that I would have had an older brother, that would have been able to teach me and
Yeah.
show me the ropes, So that's one thing that,
Yeah.
actually, talking about that, the reason why I'm saying that too is because one one what would I say this, like, one saying or great quote that my uncle taught me, was a lesson, I guess. Also, it was a life lesson, was that he saw the way that I grew up, and he told me one time, he was like, whatever you don't like of how you live now, you change when you get old. And at first, I never really
Mm.
understood that, and I'm just like because as a kid, you just want to be old and that's it. You want to just live life and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I got old, I understood that, and it's like I did that. I was like, and I try to go by that to this day. It's like everything that I didn't like in my life that got that was done towards me, or the way that my mom or my dad raised me,
Mhm.
I'm changing it, and I'm putting my
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
kind of like sauce into that, and then I'm being my own parent. I'm still teaching them what they
Right.
Yes.
taught me, but I'm just not teaching them
Mhm.
the
Right.
things that I didn't like. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
but that's
Right.
Can you give us can you give us an example of something that you do a little bit different
I
as
was
a
a
parent?
parent. My mom was kind of that lady that was like, if I was, she'd be like Rolando, and I'd be like, ah, like, como que ah,
Uh,
like those are the type of things that sometimes I
That's that Spanish mom
yeah,
thing.
and I try to deflect those kind of things, and I sometimes, trust me, these kids, man, I go,
Mhm.
because they don't want to listen, but I try to avoid that because, like I said, I know the scar that it made
Yeah.
on me, and I just don't want to do that. You
Mhm.
know, I don't want to hit my
Mhm.
kids. I
Mhm.
just I feel like I could talk to them first. If they don't listen after that, then you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But talking, I think is the best way before hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, segueing into the second part of a personal life. So now that you are a parent, a husband, responsible for your household, you have a beautiful
Thank
house. Um, yeah. Sorry about the yard last time I went to, but because I
you.
messed it
Nah,
up a little bit. But um,
Good times.
but now that you kind of like reflect on the lessons that you've learned as a young person, and now what is it that you're bringing as a parent and as a husband that is something that you're very proud of?
um, I don't know. I mean, all I could say is that I would hope that my kids are proud of the things that I'm doing. In my head, I don't really like to kind of like compliment myself, and that's something that we discussed before. Is that I like to beat myself up
I
a
know
little bit.
that's why I asked the question.
Yeah,
He's putting you on the
I'm
yeah,
putting
spot.
you
he's
on the
putting me on
spot.
the spot, but I don't really honestly. I do know that I'm doing my best that I can as a father, and
Mhm.
that's all I can really strive for. And I would just hope that my kids could see that in the future and just understand that the things that we're going through or that we're going to go through, that we're going to push as a
Mhm.
family, and that we're at the end of the day, I won't ever quit on them. I'm just going to be there and provide the best way I can in any type of sense, whether it's
Mhm.
working,
Yeah.
consoling. It's like one of the
Yeah.
sayings that my mom says. It's like, I could be your best friend, like your girlfriend, in the sense that, like that intimacy that she does. Like, I want that type of relationship with my kids, that they can just tell me anything, and I
Yeah.
Mhm.
could be able to just guide them the best way I can. Because the last thing I want is separation. Like, that's the last thing that
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
ever want.
Yeah.
But do I think
Yeah.
that I'm a good dad? Yeah, I think that I'm a great dad. I think that a lot of these people out here don't do a lot of the things that not that I would do, because I think that everybody can do what I do. It's just really about,
Hmm.
do you want to do it? Are you gonna
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
provider, or are you just gonna you know wait and just hope
Yeah.
for somebody to help you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not providing just financially, because there's so much
Exactly.
that, I mean, and they're my kids, they're my niece and nephew, so I know all the things that they're doing. But it's not only financially. There's a lot of I've seen you talk to them. I've seen the way that you redirect them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that too. So it's providing presence and doing things with them, which I see you do constantly.
There's this one thing that I notice about you, because well, I mean, we're family. So, when we do our phone calls and stuff and we're on video, with my kids, because those are my kids that you have, even though you birthed those kids for me, they're
I
mine.
created them.
Uh,
So my babies. So, but one thing that I really admire, and me and Omar mentioned this to me too, and I noticed it too, is one thing that you guys do that I think is lost nowadays is that I noticed that you guys eat dinner together.
Yes.
Like you guys sit at your table in the living room there, and you guys are like having dinner together, and it's fun. Like you're recording little Alex and Leslie, and it's just like this communal, like it's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that takes a big part of my father as well. Like, growing up, like I said, we hardly got to eat together. And when we got
Yeah,
older, that was like a kind of thing that to this day, like Sundays, I try to at least make one day out of the week that I can go see them and, break
yeah,
bread with them. And that's just
yeah,
what we do at the house. It's I don't want to lose that. I feel like I'm it's like a blessing, like I said, because I'm able to go home. Before I used to travel, I was hardly home and stuff like that. Now
Hmm.
I'm able to stay, be at home more often, and I try to take the
yeah,
most I can with it. Like I said, like, I'm very, ever since I met my wife too, I'm very spontaneous. I've always been like that type that I got to do something that nobody else is doing. I got to do something that
Hmm.
yeah,
is going to change my perspective on things because, like I said, growing back to El Salvador, it's like you feel like you're so limited, like your time is like this, that I just want to do a lot
Hmm.
of things within that like gasp that, I don't want
yeah,
at the end of the day that my kids are going to be like, damn, like I remembered that, but we never did anything kind of thing. Like, oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that
yeah,
I'm actually correcting from when I was growing up because my parents, like I said, they didn't know the states like that. They didn't like they weren't those
Hmm.
people that are gonna be like, oh, let's just drive across country and let's go check it out.
Yeah.
They weren't like
yeah,
Yeah.
that, and they're not like that.
yeah,
That's why also I strive so hard to be successful because before I die, I would want and would wish to give my mom a flight to like Greece or something like that.
Hmm.
Places where they've
yeah,
never been. My mom's never been more than El Salvador to New York and Florida. That's all she
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Like, and
yeah,
it's to me, it feels like it's shameful, man. It's like you work so hard for what? Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
you don't even know what LA looks like. You don't know what the New York, El Salvador, and she just barely got to
yeah,
meet Florida now. Unfortunately, it was
Yeah.
for,
yeah,
you know, bad circumstances, but she got to see Florida and she loved it, because it's hot, it's
yeah,
beautiful, clear water is like, that's her thing. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's our thing too.
I see, I know, listen, I love that. Like, I wish I could live by the water too, like, or clear waters and stuff like that, but I like my New York too.
I
That's
know.
true. That's
That's a bit,
true.
we
Yeah.
cannot, no matter what I say, we can't convince you
We
to
can't
come
convince you
down.
guys to come
You're
down
New
here.
Yorkers.
So looking at the effort and as a parent, and what is your role and what is the things that you have that you're bringing into being a husband? You mentioned that uh, your wife, my sister, has lupus. She's also very hyperactive.
Hyperactive. That's what you call,
Hyperactive.
that's what he calls it, hyperactive.
I'm trying to be nice. You know that I call her out any moment. I don't have that. She listens to me when I talk to her, but I'm trying to be polite.
She listens to you.
W- w-
I think she's being polite.
Yeah.
sometimes she listens to me.
She's a force to be reckoned with. That's
So
for
so
sure.
tell me about that the things that have reflecting on your parents' relationship and this relationship that you have. What are some of the things that you're bringing into it?
With Maria and stuff with my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Oh man, you know I love that girl. It's just you know she's always like done right by me, but it's just deeper than that. It's like me
Mhm.
and her. Like there's this connection, and it's just I wanna I just want to be the best for her, by her side. But we have this thing, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like a current that I need her by my side. Like, she grounds me.
Mm.
And
Mm.
we've been through a lot. We've been through some scary shit too, and
Mhm.
we've managed a lot of things, and we've been through a lot of things. So the only thing that I do on my regular is just be there for her. And
Mhm.
the circumstances that we go through is, we have a kind of like a hectic life, but
Mm,
I wouldn't
just a little bit.
yeah, but I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't. I would redo it
Yeah.
again and again and again, just because,
Mhm.
like I said, she grounds me, and I feel like I ground her too. She wants to, she's that spark at the ending of the cut wire, and I'm the wire, and I'm just trying to, like, strain her, but she's that circuit buster, like, you know what I'm saying? She's out there, but you know,
It's a good analogy right
That's
there.
really good.
That's a really good analogy.
she
It described her perfectly.
yeah, she we I think we complete each other. I think that, not that I
Mm.
need her and she needs me, but that's just how we are. It's just that, I feel bad.
You enhance each
Huh?
other? Like, you enhance each
Yes,
other.
yes.
You complement each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, that's what it seems like to
And,
me,
I
but
just feel like, she's, with college and stuff like that, she helped me out so much. She's the one that kept me fighting and kept me going. And, even when my business, with I had a landscaping business, which I didn't even mention there either, but that was another toll that took over me, and she was there for me, and she was there, and
Mhm.
we fought through that, and look look where we are now. We have another business, and we're fighting again, and
mhm.
we're still at it. It's like, she I don't know, man. There's this connection with us that, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I can't be with her, and I can't be without her either. I love her, and
He said, "I
Yeah.
can't be with her, but I can't be without her."
I feel
That
you. I
says a
feel you.
lot.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Aw. I take that as a
It is a
compliment. It is a
compliment. It is a
compliment. That's a
compliment.
compliment. And I can see that because I think that you and Mari, well, we call her Mari, that you guys do complement each other. It's not about needing each other. You guys don't need each other. You're there because you want
yeah,
to be there.
Yeah.
And you see that. You see
Mhm.
that in your relationship, and it's a good dynamic.
So this is kind of like leads me into the perfect segue, because I really want to get into your professional entrepreneurial life, right? I mean, you started selling candies at the high school. Tell us about that projection and that aspect of your life, and what are some of the things that you have done, and also the things that keep you going. So why don't we start after the first business was selling candy,
yeah.
right? What was the next business after that?
The
The next
clothes.
idea that you started.
The clothes was my next thing that I started doing with Macy's, and then after that, I lost contact with that, and I ended up going to, that old Biggie saying, with that with the fake Lacoste. It was like, I ended up going to Canal. Yeah, I ended up going to Canal,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
anybody that knows New York at that time knows that Canal, would you could find anything and everything there. And
Anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
at that time, that's what's so funny, because I used to take my little brother with me, and I used to show him the
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and I was pretty, not that I was well connected, but I knew a couple people, and then those people that I knew, I kept going, and led me to other people, and I was
Mm-hmm.
getting crazy stuff, man. I was getting Lacoste, North Face jackets, Uptowns, Timberlands, you name it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting it, and you know, I stopped taking him because there was this one time that we almost got caught by the cops. So I was like, man, my mom ever catches me or something like this,
She's
it's
gonna
over
kill
for
me.
my
She could
life.
kill you.
So after that, I
Uh-huh.
kind of like chilled out with him, taking him so much because, like I said, though, I always wanted to show him, I always wanted to show him
Hmm.
what I was doing, how I was trying to survive, and I wanted to show him that I was hustling in a good way, and just trying to make my money,
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
the entrepreneur
Yeah.
mentality. That's really what it was. At that time, I didn't understand that. Like, entrepreneur, you tell me what,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're an entrepreneur, I probably look at you and be like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was just so blinded
Yeah.
in that sense that my money, my mentality was like, get money. That's it.
Yeah.
That was
Hmm.
like the
Hmm.
motto. So that's all I knew,
Mhm.
and that's all I wanted to do. So I stopped going with him, and then I ended up, after college and high school, I lost contact with a lot of people and stuff like that. So I stopped that, and then I started doing like double jobs. There was a time where I
Mhm.
had like almost three jobs. I was
Wow.
working at FedEx in the morning, then I was working at Chili's and Radio Shack, and
Mhm.
I was
Mm.
then going to college. It was just, it was it was always like on the go. It was always on the go, and always, what can I make money out of? What can I get that I can make money out of?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after that, I ended up finishing. I no, that's when I took a break from college. I took about a year to 2 year break, and that's my father
Mhm.
was. We were probably in the middle of the cancer, or towards the ending, maybe around there, and
Mhm.
Mm.
I ended up getting the landscaping business. I
Mm.
went to a schooling called Apex, and I did
Mhm.
mechanic. I did a mechanical certificate, and I got my
Mhm.
certificate in a year. And then after that, I had an opportunity, and it was kind of like, my father was like, "Look, there's this business right here. It's about 20 grand, and what do you think?" And I'm just like, I didn't know. You, I'm just young. I just got out of the
Mhm.
the the schooling, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna go to a shop to work or something like that. And then he
Yeah.
brings this to me, and I'm just like, So I went. We chipped in money, and we all went in down, and we bought the business. After that,
Mhm.
Mm.
I got the landscaping business, and that's how I met my wife in State Farm.
Mm.
And she used
Oh,
to work at
okay.
State
That's right.
Farm, and I got my car, the truck, and the trailer registered, and she's the one that helped me after that. It was all down. Everything was over after that. I was like, "Yo, who is this?" I was like, "Can I get your business card?" So,
With the alternative motive.
but yeah,
Well, you saw his face.
Yeah, yeah.
after that, I
That's
got the
funny.
landscaping business, and I had the landscaping business for, oh man, almost like about 8 years, I think, around there,
Mm,
or
okay.
something
Mm.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like
That,
7
that's a
eight
long
years,
time.
something like that. And
Hmm.
no, I'm sorry, I probably had it for like 5 to 6 years, 5 to 6 years. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, things happened. I was lied to. I felt that was like at the time that I felt like I was, everything I did was worthless. I
Mhm.
bought the business off of this guy, and the guy said that he was gonna give me his clientele and all this stuff. What he ended up doing was going behind my back and telling everybody, all the clientele, that it was a lie, that he was still in charge, and that I was just a sub, like I would work a route for him, and that's it. So he
Mhm.
ended up taking all my clients, pretty much half of them, and
Mm.
I started working off like that, and then it was just difficulties after difficulties and stuff like that. I made it go the most I could. I mean, I used to work from,
Yeah.
sun up to sundown. It was crazy. Wake
Yeah.
up early in the morning, get the stuff
Mhm.
ready, and then go out to work. But it was just me by myself. My father wasn't working
Yeah.
with me. He would try to help me, but I was like, man, you sick. Like, you need to go home. Like, and he
Yeah.
would get upset at me
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
would try to help me and stuff like that. But I just couldn't let my father help me at that time. I just didn't have it
Yeah.
Mhm.
in me. I thought that it wasn't a good look. So
Mhm.
things were going good though for those couple years. I actually helped pay the house mortgage for my father because my father wasn't working. My father, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
he wasn't getting any help. He was actually like, it was the opposite. He was like in need of help. He was trying to apply for Medicare. He was trying to do all these things just to try to pay for these chemos, to try to get these medications. And we had a
Mhm.
Mhm.
lot of like good souls that, helped us out with medications that, he knew a doctor that actually gave him medication that he didn't even pay for. That was, man, we to this day we
Wow.
thank that doctor all the time, because of
Yeah.
him, he helped my father. And those are
Yeah.
things that you never forget, and it's those are
Yeah.
the moments where you really realize who's who and who's with you and who's not, who got a good
Mm.
heart, who doesn't,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, definitely.
it was it was quite interesting. And once I lost that, I was upset. I lost it just because I got scanned by lawyers and stuff like that, and then unfortunately I had to give it up because the fines and stuff like that I owed were just too much. And that was like a big
Ridiculous. Yeah.
meltdown for
Yeah.
me at that time, because like I felt like a failure. I felt like everything just went
Mm.
to nothing. Everything that I did went to nothing. But she got me
Yeah.
back on my feet, and then that's after that, I went heavy on the graphic design, and I graduated.
Mhm. Mm.
Nice.
And tell us about that graphic design and what drives you through it. What is it about the creativity aspect that really gets you going?
When you start talking about this graphic design, I start kind of getting like butterflies and like kind of like these mind emojis explosion kind of thing, because yeah, it's like a natural vibe for me. It's like
Mhm.
I just I just reflect. A lot of my stuff is very abstract, surrealism and stuff like that
Mhm.
Yeah.
that I like to do. And that's just because I feel like that's how my life has been. And that's just what I
Mm.
like to do, is just have surrealism, realism, abstract, all that type of pop art. And a lot of the stuff now that I do is a lot of collages where I get pictures from certain things and I add other pictures, or I just make my custom stuff to it, because
Mhm.
Mhm.
I just have so much emotion towards things that anything that I see that can look a certain way, even paint splatter to me is a certain way to me, that I see it, I take it upon a certain way. And
Mhm.
that's how it is with graphic design. I just felt like once I got into, like I said, it was like a gate door that opened. It was like I felt like I wasn't being judged. I felt like I was in my zone, kind of like, I'm just like everybody else in this zone where, in art you can take it so many different ways, is and that's the beauty about it,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about it, is that,
Mhm.
you know, the graffiti, I love graffiti, and it goes to a lot of things that, from the streets, and and
Yeah.
certain things. And then you got like people, like I love Salvador Dali, like people that
Yeah.
just, when you look at a picture you could just be like, damn, like that, like you can
Mm.
you can
Speak
yeah,
for
like
you.
it's like, wow, like that, I could understand that. And stuff like that,
Mm.
that that's what drives me, and that's what I try to like not do my work like that, but that's, like I said, that's just what I see in my brain and what I envision is mostly all the time is just things like that, surrealism things
Mhm.
and um and things that how do I say this, like things that just look sometimes like out of order. Like you just be like,
Mhm.
that looks kind of odd there. I like that. I don't know why. I like being
Mm.
like that
Yeah.
odd kind of thing. Like it's just like,
Like the chaos,
yeah,
like chaotic stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Things that don't make sense, but they're there
yeah,
anyways, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like it's
That's what
not
I mean.
supposed to happen, but
yeah.
it's there. What is that intrigues
Yeah,
you?
things like that. And that's just like I
Yeah.
said, that's what I try to go for. I try to like most of my stuff that I want to make people see and just think and be like, that hit. Like I understand that. Like, and that's why a lot of my stuff
Yeah.
is sometimes I would say dark because,
Mm.
that was just most of the things that I've seen, and that I can relate to. I like that's just how I that's just how I see it. Like that's most of my stuff is a lot of like I like to see a lot of, not in a bad way, but pain. Like I like to see something resemble pain.
Mm.
I like to, because I feel like that's what I resembles me. Like you know what I'm saying. Like when I think about myself and I think about what I've been through, I just think about pain. I think about you
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
a wall, like something strong
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
can't break, like a diamond. It can't be scratched. It's one of the
Mhm.
strongest elements or whatever. It's just like like those are the type of things that I see, and then um I try to like go by from that after that, like
Right.
Mhm.
There's a lot, but there is a lot of, and some people may not agree, but I think there's a lot of like beauty in pain. If you really try to understand it, you know what I mean, and make sense of the
yep.
pain. So that sort of makes sense in your artwork, for me at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's just like I said, it's just I want people to understand, and like I tell my daughter every time, it's like you gotta thank God. You gotta, see how lucky you are that, you have a lot of dolls and stuff like that. You gotta think about these kids that
Mhm.
they don't have anything, and just
Correct. Yeah.
wishing every day
Mhm.
that they get something, or that and these, like I said, those that's what I resemble. That's at the end of it, when when I leave this earth or whatever, I just want for people to understand that there's I just wanted always to um resemble something to be grateful, you know.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh, so that kind of like leads into the next question of religious spirituality, existential, and the entire idea of death. You mentioned earlier that you think a lot about that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us in what aspects do you think about death? In what aspects how does thinking about that help you move forward?
um I don't I don't know if it helps me move forward. I just know that I think about it, and I'm been analyzing a lot about it because unfortunately these past couple 2 years I've been going through it a lot with family members,
Mm.
and friends, through this
Mhm.
COVID and non-COVID. I've lost a lot of people, and the main ones, you know, that have affected me the most have been my grandma and my uncle,
Mm.
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought real quick. I started thinking about my grandma and stuff. But
Yeah. And that one was a very impactful passing
Mhm.
for
yeah,
you.
it's
Yeah.
that
Um,
that's somebody that was like a mother to me as well, because when I didn't have my
mm.
mom, I had her. The
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's the one that took care of me. after and during school, whenever she had the chance, So that was like my second mom. But um towards death, it was, it was it just, my perspective changed. And what I think that I'm going through now is just mortality. It's more like I
Mhm.
started realizing that, whoa, death is right around the corner. And it's like, it's
Mhm.
sad when you see certain deaths, because like my uncle, to die without having nobody by your side, and not even like,
Mhm.
you're like in a bag, and that's it. It's like no family member there, nothing.
Yeah.
It's like I just, that affected me in a way too. And I just, I don't want to think about it too much. What I do just know is that it does happen, and I just feel like
Mhm.
whatever we give to this universe, we get back. And I feel
Mhm.
like if you do good by things, you know, good things will go by. And I feel like, of course, if we're gonna die, right? But I feel like when you're a good soul, and you just want the best for everybody, I don't think that you know the suffering is as bad. I feel like people go
Mhm.
at peace, because I feel like you're happy with who you are, and you're just
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're you're conscious of what's going on. And that's something that my grandma also taught me too. Like, when she was on her deathbed, she was like, it's my time, I'm ready to go. For any I feel
Wow.
like for anybody to say that, man, you got to be a fucking warrior, like, you know and those
Yes.
are
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
things I
Well, you had to have lived like a life that you're proud of, that like you said earlier, that what you give to the world is what you get back, so to
I
speak,
feel comfortable with
and
that.
feel good, like you lived a life that you're content with, and that you did the
do
best that
good.
you could with what
Yes.
you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what that's what
Yeah,
you
that's
mean, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And we didn't
Okay.
understand that at first, because it's like we
Yeah.
try to be greedy, and we're just like, no, you can't leave. And I think that was like my most
Mhm.
difficult part about it, was the fact that I didn't want to let go. I didn't understand how to let go. You know,
Mm.
Yeah.
and I think that
And she was trying to comfort you through
exactly.
letting her go.
Well, I
Oh,
think that
she
it was
was.
like a subliminal message that I didn't capture at that time, because I'm trying to keep her like stay, stay, stay. And she's basically telling
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
like, yo, it's my time, I'm ready. Don't worry about it. Like, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
damn, like, for somebody to just be ready for something like that just means a lot. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
I like, in that sense, like I said, death to me is in that way, that it's just like she was like, it's like I said, it's like we if we don't do no harm, we're not evil people. I feel like we don't exit out of here that way.
Mhm.
And my grandma was a lovable person,
Yeah. Okay.
and my grandma was a great, like, and I feel like even though we saw her like that, I feel like she didn't suffer that, like she didn't go in a bad way. I felt like her
Mm.
Yeah.
exit
Mhm.
was like a normal exit. We're all gonna get sick, or anything could happen, but it wasn't like a painful kind
Yeah.
of thing. And when you
Right.
start mixing that with religion is when it starts getting crazy, because like I said, like my grandfather used to always read to me, and then you start getting those things like from the Bible and stuff like that. But I just learned how to part from it, in the sense that,
Mhm.
I'm thankful for him showing me everything with religion and the Bible, and I do to this day reflect on my decisions sometimes on certain things like that, because it's not like I'm saying that the religion is 100% accurate, but like it just goes back, like I said, with the universe. I just feel like it's all in your conscience, in your clean conscience, like if you feel like it's the right decision, or if you feel like it's the wrong decision.
Right.
Do you think that doing
Right.
this to
Yeah.
this person is good or doing that to that person is bad? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, and I think that
Yeah.
we're all acknowledgeable to understand what's good and bad. I just feel like, we,
It's like
Hmm.
having an
yeah. And
awareness,
I just feel like some of us
right?
choose to
Oh,
do certain things than others don't.
Yeah,
right. That makes
that's
sense.
absolutely true. So I mean that at the end of the day, we all have choices to make,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and how we decide to do those things is key.
Yeah.
Um, what about your own personal mortality? Like the idea that eventually you will come to not exist in the physical form, not in the spiritual form, but in the or the chemical
Yeah.
form. How do you think about that? What do you think about when you realize that? How does that affect your relationship with your children and your wife?
Um, well, I've gone to, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm fully accepting it, but I'm just gotten
Mm,
to the point where I know it's gonna happen. I just want it to happen in a time where it won't be a burden to my kids and family. I just want it to,
okay.
if if I get everything situated and my business and stuff like that, then my job is pretty much done. I gave them their
Mm,
I
mhm,
because everything I'm doing is just I want to leave them. I say assets, but I just want to leave them things that they can fall upon and just say, listen, dad left us this business. What do you want to do with it? Should we continue or should we sell it? He left us these houses. Like, what should we
mm,
do? Should we sell them or should we keep them? And all of these things that I'm doing is for them.
mhm.
I'm just setting a backbone for them, kind of like a structure for them to just
Yeah,
do whatever they want from there.
yeah.
Like giving them options.
Yeah, I'm just yeah, and after
Yep.
that, I
Yeah.
think I'll be okay. Like my grandma, I think I would be accepting it, because like I said, we're all gonna go through it. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's what worries me the most is letting, just making sure my family's okay. And it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that song that Tito Rojas says, nadie es eterno para siempre. You know,
Hmm. Nadie se de-
That's true.
Yep.
It's the truth in English.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing's eternal.
Nothing's eternal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Everything
trying to,
has
yeah.
its beginning. Everything that has a beginning has an
Has an
end,
end.
Neil.
Yeah. We're not made to be here forever.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
yeah.
So now that you as we approach the end of this conversation, right, and there will be many others to come, and you reflect back at your life up to where you are right now, and now you're continuing your quest on. What would you say is your philosophy of life?
I would just say that, live it the best way you can and
Hmm.
sanamente, like my mom says. Uh,
Ah,
like
sanamente.
I'm not translating. Look it up.
just
Okay.
the most, I wouldn't say cleanest, but it's just live it to purity, man. You know,
Mm,
Yeah.
it's don't live up to people's standards. Live for what you want to live for. Do what you want to do,
mhm,
and no matter how much things could tumble, you just gotta fight back because at the end of it, if we just give up, then we lose hope and we lose everything. And I don't think that we're all meant here to just be, like couch potatoes or just be sorrow individuals. I think that we all have a purpose here. And I feel like
mhm,
you just got to find it. And I feel like,
mhm,
you got to do it. Like I said, you got to do what you love. And, sometimes it could be that you don't have to be a certain, like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, but sometimes you could just be a person that is just lovable or caring, and people sometimes need that,
Mm.
because not
Yeah.
everybody got that. And
Hmm.
Right.
those are the things that I think that, us as people, or my philosophy is that, you got to appreciate what you have and be thankful for what you
Yeah.
got. And just always, I guess a piece of advice that my mom always used to give me is that, always think about the tomorrow.
Mm.
You can't always think about, if you got $100 today, that you're gonna burn $100 today, because you never know tomorrow. It's
Hmm.
sometimes it's better to just 50 here and then 50 tomorrow. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like plan for the future,
yeah,
right?
it's just,
Yeah.
just don't be reckless, and stay down to earth, because like I said, society here, I guess in the States, not everywhere, but just for some reason here, it's like, you gotta be dressed a certain way to be cool. You gotta have a certain way, have a certain car to get recognized, or you know, or yeah, a lot of people are just um misguided by this illusion that it's just like, oh, I want to have this, I want to have that, people got this, and it's just like, at the end of it, we don't take any of that. The only thing that
Hmm.
stays, that goes with us, is our soul. And that's really
Hmm.
where I think the treasure is, because that's really who you are. That's really what that whole inside is coming out. That's what
Hmm.
your whole aura is. It's like, I'm not gonna be like you. You're not. We don't have the same ambitions. We don't have the same mentality. We may think alike, and that's the beautiful thing about us, is that we're all meant to help each other out. We're all meant to intertwine. We're all, and if you really want to go back to it, like, this was the problem my grandfather had with me, because when I was a kid, I was very like, well, why? Why this? Why that? And when you
Inquisitive,
go
yeah.
to it, it's like Adam and Eve, right? We came from one person, so we're all brothers and sisters, you sick bastards. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we we
Yeah.
are one. Like, that's why we're all connected. That's why we shouldn't be doing harm against each other. That's why we should be helping each other out instead of
Mm.
bringing us down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just
Hmm.
the way that I think.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's where I bring my religion, and from what my grandfather told me, and then I bring my perspective of what my life has been and become, and I just try to unite them and try to
Hmm.
make the best out of it. Like, I can't really
Yeah.
say that I'm a Catholic, because I don't. There's just certain things I don't agree on, but
Hmm.
that's just the way that my grandfather taught us. He was a Catholic, church Catholic, with the Bible and stuff like that. So, when you start going into all these other religions, I just feel like everybody's still praising a higher demand, a higher,
Yeah.
higher power. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm going back to the same thing. I just feel like it reflects on our conscience, our what we do, how we do it, and how
Hmm.
we help others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
that's
Um,
actually
uh, uh,
good.
the last question that I want to get into is those posters behind you. By the way, I know just DMX recently passed away, and DMX was, for me, my favorite rapper, my top one. Then goes Nas, then Biggie, then Method Man. We don't. We're not gonna get into a
Fine.
hip
Yeah,
hop
yeah,
discussion
no.
right now, but that was my favorite rapper of all time. Can you tell us about? Because I know the pictures in the back are part of your one of your companies. And can you tell us about what are they? What is it that you do?
What's the
And
company
what's the company? What is it that
or the
you
business?
are what is the endeavor that you're into right now?
Yeah.
And how do we get a hold of that stuff?
Sure. I have two businesses that kind of collide in the same, in a way. With the graphic design, I have the business. It's under Cosmetic Designs, and I pretty much do a little bit
Hmm.
of everything from, like I said, designing my artwork or doing collages or posting up my artwork. And then I
Our
recently,
shirts.
of shirts, yeah, but I recently have gotten into bedazzling or rhinestones. And
Hmm.
what I do here is that I get posters and I bling them out. And depending on, how the poster or the image is, obviously you see the Marilyn Monroe mostly is blinged out
Hmm.
from just the Marilyn. And then I did
Mhm.
the mole by her lips. And then the Mona
Mhm.
Lisa, it's with a joint, but I only blinged out the joint and then some of her dress. And then the
Hmm.
DMX, same thing. I just did the D and the X. And now a lot of these is just because I enjoy to do it, and um I really do like it. It's a stress reliever, believe it or not, for me. And for example, the Marilyn Monroe took me about a couple, maybe like 2 hours to 4 hours, I think, around there to finish everything.
Oh wow.
And oh, you see Blue Eyes over here. I did him as well.
Ah,
And, uh,
What did you do with Blue
I
Eyes?
did
what did you do with
his
blue eyes? Oh,
I
blue
did his
eyes.
eyes, and I did
Awesome.
the lettering on the I don't even,
His
yeah, on
inmate
his
seal.
inmate plaque. I don't even
Mm.
know what the hell you call that. But
I don't know what that's called
No, he
either.
got arrested back in
yeah,
the days for
so
Yeah,
we
doing
yeah,
some
yeah,
got
yeah.
that.
shenanigans.
But
And the hardest one that I could say so far has been the DMX. That has
mm,
about 4,000 rhinestones and change,
Wow.
4,000 and change. And that took about more than 24 hours to do. But
jeez.
that's, of
Okay.
course, obviously a little bit of time here and there because of work and stuff like that. But
Mm.
those
And
are,
do you sell these
yeah, I
posters?
sell
Are they
them.
for sale?
I sell them through my other business, through Deluxe Luxuries, where I sell a lot of
Hmm.
apparel and designers, um,
Okay.
apparel and also collectible items. Also, it's pretty much a vast variety of a
Right.
little bit of everything that we do,
Right.
and anything that's pretty much related to
Yeah.
fashion and hot items that, like I said, collectibles that people like. So I really just sell these through the
Hmm.
website or, through Deluxe Luxuries. My cosmetic designs, I've actually
Mhm.
haven't really been on it like that as much because the graphic design is whenever I get time. And honestly, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be dedicating so much time to it now like I have. So it's you guys have gotten me
Mm.
back on, on my tippy toes, head on the swivel. So it's it's pretty good though.
Actually,
And you've been
yeah.
pulling through there too.
And
It's
actually, I
yeah.
think by the time this episode air, your first collection of T-shirts and merchandise with the Soul's Quest and then the Skiar line will be actually on our website,
Yeah.
and those designs were all created by Kismatic Designs.
At asoulsquest.com. You can catch all of Rolando's stuff on our website, asoulsquest.com. You got to check it out. He's got amazing stuff if you're interested in it. We'll put the information at the bottom of this video
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah,
So you'll have access to that. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. So, all right. Well, thank you, Rolando. That was I mean, I feel like with every interview we can go on for
I
hours. And
know
I
it's
know
crazy.
we just touched the ice, like the top of the yeah, I mean, I know you have so much more to share, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, we just have run out of time. So,
Yeah.
but we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. We love my babies. My babies. They're my babies.
Whatever. As selfish as could be.
And we appreciate you. We do.
And thank you so much for the vulnerability and the
Definitely.
story, because again, when you and I speak about the idea of a soul's quest, and if you see everybody that's come through it with the season, there's so many parallels and so much beauty in these stories. You know, that idea of a community, of a family, how integral it is to the projection of an individual moving forward. The idea of what you just mentioned of just being a good human
Yeah.
and doing good, you know, so that are the people around us and the people that we interact with are actually better, and that makes society, it makes everything better. And the beautiful thing on your life is that all that beauty, all that creativity that you're exposing right now came out of such a chaotic beginning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, which was
Definitely.
living in El Salvador during a civil war,
Yeah.
and seeing death and seeing those type of things. And it's amazing how to see firsthand the beauty of all that and
It
how you're manifesting it right now.
it's really beautiful to see him evolve, the
Yes.
evolution of your life, like, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole idea, is that we want to hear people's quests to see what that evolution is. And it's interesting to just hear what you went through, and then your perspectives, and how much gratitude you have for the experiences in your family, and your framework of, and the structure of your, just everything, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, that you have so much gratitude for, and
Yeah.
that's your philosophy on life.
And are there any final tidbits or anything finally that you would like to say to all our audience and the soul questers?
Um, nah, man. Just thank you for hearing my story. I hope that it touches people, or at least somebody out there that's probably been through the same thing or worse things that I've been through, and just to tell them to
Mm-hmm.
keep fighting, man, to keep doing what they're doing. That we're not perfect, and we all out here trying to do the best that we can, and that's all we can do is just be the best, and be good at it, man. Just do things out of good heart, and I feel like when you do things like that, good things will come.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
sure. All right. Well, thanks so much, Rolando, for being with us today. Soul Questers, make sure you check this episode out. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
and check us out on our website, aslsquest.com.
Thank you,
See you
guys.
next time.
Later, soul questers.